Hi and welcome to the show. Today we're going to be cooking two dishes. The first one is roasted pumpkin and ginger soup, and the second dish is a beef carbonade. Okay, so we've got half a butternut pumpkin, which I'm going to scoop the seeds out of and just discard. Okay, so we leave the skin on. Just cut the butternut pumpkin in half lengthwise. And put that onto a baking tray. And just put a whole brown onion, leave the skin on. Just sit that on the baking tray as well. Just season them with a bit of salt and pepper. And so then just give them a very light spray with cooking oil. And then I'm going to just put those in an oven and bake them at about 200 degrees. So you cook those for about 40 minutes or until they're tender. Right, just to the pumpkin and onion that's roasting in the oven, I'm actually just going to add about 4 cloves of unpeeled garlic to the tray, and just cook that as well. Alright, so once you've taken these out of the oven, what we need to do now is just to discard the outer skins of the onion and also the skin of the pumpkin, and then just put it all into the blender because we're going to blend this up. Right, so we've nearly got all of the pumpkin peeled, and we'll just add that to the blender. And then what we do to that is add about half a cup of the chicken stock to the blender. Alright, so we'll just add the lid to the blender, and we're just going to puree all of the vegetables. Right, so what we do now, once that's blended, we just tip that into the saucepan. Right, so once you've got all of that out of the blender, then what we need to do is just add the rest of the chicken stock, which there's roughly about 2 cups in there. And we're going to add about 1 teaspoon of grated ginger. Okay, so we just add about a teaspoon of ginger to the soup, and now what I'm going to do is put this on the heat and bring it up to the boil, and probably just cook it for about 5 minutes, and it should be ready. Okay, so I've got about a kilo of chuck steak here. You can either buy that from the butcher already cut up into cubes, or if not, if you're buying it in a piece like this, you need to cut it up into roughly about 2 centimetre cubes, taking off as much of the fat as you possibly can. So roughly just cut it up into little pieces about that big. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut the leek. We need a couple of sticks of celery and a couple of carrots, so we're going to prepare those. First of all, just cut the leek. I want to use just mainly the white part of the leek, and because leeks are grown underground, they can have quite a bit of grit in them, so you just need to cut them in half and give them a bit of a wash and make sure you get all of the grit out of the leek. So I'll just run them under a tap and give them a bit of a wash. So we'll just sort of slice the leek up. Okay, so that's the leek all chopped up. Now we need to just chop up a couple of sticks of celery. Again, just give them a quick wash under the tap, just to get any dirt off the celery. And just thinly slice that as well. Right, so just put the cut celery in with the leek, and then we're just going to do the same with a couple of carrots. I'm not going to peel the carrots, but I'm just going to give them a wash under the tap. Just add those to the celery and the leek. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're now just going to cook these vegetables in about a teaspoon of oil, just for about 5 minutes or until they're soft. So just heat the oil and then add the vegetables. Just keep your eye on those now and cook them till they soften up a bit. Right. So to the beef, we're going to add about 1 tablespoon of plain flour. We're going to dust the beef in plain flour. So I'll just put a little more. So just add the flour to the beef and make sure it's all coated in the flour. This flour just will help the beef, the mixture thicken a little bit, later on when we're cooking it. So just make sure that beef is covered with the flour, and then we're just going to fry this off in batches in the fry pan. Okay, so this is softened up now, so I'm just going to take that off the heat and put that into a bowl. Okay, so using that same pan, I'm just going to add about another tablespoon of oil, and I'm going to add the beef that we've just coated in the flour, and I'm just going to cook this in batches and not add too much to the pan, not to overcrowd the pan too much. Right, so we've now browned the beef, so we'll just put it into the saucepan, and then what we're going to do is add to the vegetables that we cooked beforehand and some stock back into the pan. Okay, so I'm just going to now put the cooked beef back into the fry pan with all the juices, and I'm going to add the vegetables that we cooked earlier on. back into the pan. And to that I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Just roughly measure out a couple of teaspoons of mustard. A cup of lager. And half a cup of stock. It's chicken stock, or you can use beef stock as well. And I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And I'm just going to give that a good stir up. Get all the nice juices that and meat that's stuck to the bottom of the pan when we were cooking up the browning up the beef. So just make sure you get all of that off the bottom of the pan, and the flour, which will thicken the sauce up. Alright, so we've brought this mixture back up to the boil, so I'm just now going to add this to the casserole dish. We're just going to put that in the oven and cook that now for about 1.5 hours or 2 hours. Okay, so this is now had about 1.5 hours in the oven, and we'll get ready to dish that up now. Okay, so once you dish that up, just serve your beef carbonade with accompanying vegetables. Right, this is the finished product, and it's a lovely meal that you can sit down and enjoy with the company of good friends. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the 2 dishes that we've cooked today. And I look forward to cooking another couple of dishes for you next week.